guys? Welcome back to Days of Darkness and welcome to my spoiler-free review for MAXXXINE. And yeah, just in general, welcome back to Days of Darkness. Apologies for the fairly inconsistent upload schedule during the summertime, being engaged to a school teacher. Obviously, she is off during the summertime, so I took full advantage of that, got some housework stuff done with her, and also just got to enjoy each other's company. And unfortunately, that means not as many uploads during the summertime as I would have liked. But I got to spend some really, really good days and nights with my best friend on this planet. So you give and you take. But the grind is back. She is back doing her teaching gig, which means I am back full time on the DoD gig, baby. That's right. We are going to try our best to get these reviews out on a weekly basis, just like before. And I figured the best way to start out with that is a spoiler-free review of MAXXXINE. So I'm gonna stop bullshitting around and we're just gonna go ahead and get on into it. So, let me start off by saying this. As anyone knows who has seen my reviews for X and Pearl, I was a massive, massive fan of those movies. I thought, X was a really, really nice homage to the slasher genre, and I really, really think it did a good job of not only paying homage to that subgenre of horror, but also really, really elevating it to a different level. And it was just a very, very well done movie. It wasn't afraid to be brutal or raunchy or anything like that, and it was a very, very very uncensored vision from Ty West, and I adore X. I still love that movie. And then Pearl came along and really shook stuff up. I thought it felt so different from X. Obviously you still have those slasher elements to a certain degree, but it just came off feeling like a very, very different film. And I thought the world of that movie because of that. Really did do a good job of standing out from X while also really making you feel like it is in that same timeline, same universe, obviously, since it literally takes place in the same area. And then we get to MAXXXINE, and I was really curious what they were going to do with this one, because obviously you didn't even really need a trailer to know that it was going to be a very different film from the previous two. No longer in that rural Texas town, that rural Texas farm. Now we're going to Los Angeles. We're going to Hollywood, baby. So I was really curious what Ty West and everybody involved were going to bring to this one. How were they going to make this feel like a sequel to X, which really, quite literally, this is the only sequel to X, obviously Pearl being a prequel. And I gotta say, I think they did, first of all, I think they did a really good job once again of making this feel like it stands out from X while still feeling like it's in that same timeline and like it's, a perfectly suitable sequel. I heard a lot of people saying, oh, this doesn't feel like a sequel, this doesn't feel like it. And I don't really think that was ever the intention. I think these films were always kind of designed to be their own thing, while obviously, being a similar story. You have X being a straight up slasher film, and then you have Pearl being much more of a throwback kind of movie, obviously still with slasher elements. And then we get we get MAXXXINE, which is honestly really laid out like an 80s crime drama. And that was a big risk, that was a big risk not making this a straight up slasher. And don't get me wrong, there is still, that slasher formula is still there for the most part. But I really do feel like they set out to do something different with this one, and I admire that. As I've said, if I ever drop merch, it's gonna be on a fucking t-shirt. I love when filmmakers take risks, and for me, this is a risk that paid off. I know not everybody is super thrilled with the direction this film went in, um, and there are some aspects of this movie that I wasn't too thrilled about. We'll get there in a second, but overall, I really do feel like this was a suitable conclusion to the X trilogy. I really, really do. I really thought they wrapped everything up well. I do not need to see a sequel. I do not need to see a part 4. To me, I feel like this story's wrapped up. It's good. I really don't think they need to milk it anymore. Will they? Depends on how much money this makes. I don't hear a lot of chatter about it, so you never know. But overall, I'm very impressed with this film. There is one aspect, though, that I wasn't super, super fond of. And, if you have seen the movie, please refrain from spoilers in the comment section. For anybody who hasn't seen the movie yet, warning in case somebody decides to be a dickhead and spoil it. But I know my audience is a little more mature than that. But I did think the ending was a little bit predictable. I think the way this story is formatted and just how they choose to open the film and all that stuff, I feel like you can see the ending coming from a million miles away. And as someone who, some of the greatest slashers in history are slashers with an element of mystery to them. And obviously this isn't a straight up slasher, it's much more of a crime drama with slasher elements. But even with crime dramas, the mystery is a big part of those type of movies. And it feels like they really just kind of laid it out for you pretty quickly. And it did kind of lead to what I would feel to be a wet fart of a reveal. It just kind of happens, and you're like, oh, all right. So I kind of saw that one coming. And then, the movie proceeds being wacky, crazy fun, and I wouldn't say it ruined the movie for me at all. Is just okay, great, cool. Let's move on. Let's wrap this up. And yeah, like I said, I think it's a totally satisfying conclusion for the MAXXXINE character. For the X universe in general, just kind of wish they were a little more creative about it. But overall, do like the film, and I know we're not in a full spoiler review here, but we do need to talk about the blood and the guts and the gory bits. Obviously, I'm not going to give any away. Excuse me, not going to give away any of the kills here, but I will say, holy fuck. I definitely do feel like they dialed back the violence a tad in this, compared to X especially. I feel like the violence was on par with Pearl. Maybe even a little more gruesome in some spots, but comparisons be damned. I really do think the bloody bits in this movie are quite entertaining, quite shocking. There's one scene in an alley, and I will give nothing else away about it, that floored me and got a pretty visceral reaction from me in the theater. Just was not expecting them to go there, and god damn, they went there. It was rough. It was really, really rough. And, everything else about the film, too. Much like Pearl and X, not shy from the blood, not shy from the gore whatsoever. I thought the kills were all very, very well paced out. We did get a couple off-screen kills, which I could have done without. But even those were done pretty well as far as off-screen kills are concerned. And yeah, man, I feel like if I ramble on too much more, I'm just going to give away a lot about the movie, and that's not what I want to do. I 100% recommend you guys go out and check this out. I think it's a fucking really, really fun time and a really good way to wrap up an amazing trilogy. So well done, Ty West. Well done, Mia Goth. Well done, everybody else who was involved in this. Yeah, really, really good stuff. I like the fact that we got another really, really solid, good horror trilogy. Just does my heart good. And without further ado, guys, like I said, I'm gonna wrap it up. Stop rambling. But it feels good to be back. Thank you guys for your patience. Thank you for supporting the channel, even through the inconsistencies. And yeah, I'm back, motherfucker. Alright, guys. Have a good day.